So Apple has a real scandal on its hands, and it really, really irritates me. And let me tell you about it. And it focuses on eSIM technology on the iPhones now. So if you were to get an iPhone now in 2024, specifically, let's say the iPhone 16, you are going to be really, really trapped. And let me tell you why. It is eSIM only. The iPhone has been eSIM only since the iPhone 14. So now we have 3 years of not having the option to get your little SIM card that you just pop in and out with a pin. You know, everybody knows that you pop it in, pop it out, really easy to put in your SIM card, and your number and your data magically and your messages all just, transfer right over. No real effort, super easy, takes 20 seconds and you're good to go. But now it's super, super weird and infuriating if you want to swap out your SIM card. Now with eSIM, you have to either transfer it when you set up a new iPhone. You have to either call your carrier. You have to scan a QR code. It's gotten a lot harder now if you want to transfer your phone number and your service to a different device. Now it's hard when you have to switch over from iPhone to iPhone. That's hard by itself. But forget about it. If you're trying to change from an Android to iPhone or iPhone to Android, now that's nearly almost impossible now. It is kind of like this is in the best interest of the carriers, because it makes it, almost impossible to easily swap out to an Android phone. So Apple is kind of really sneaky here, because it is making it in their best interest. Like, once you have your eSIM on the iPhone, and let's say you want to switch to Android, nope, forget about it. You have to go through the carrier, and it's going to be a pain. In the past, for years and years and years, more than a decade, for 20 years, you just pop out the SIM card. It has your phone number, it has your data, it has pretty much everything that we've been using our phones for the past 20, 25 years. And you transfer it from one device to the other, and it hasn't been an issue. But now it's like, it's like a scandal. It's like Apple wants to keep you within its iPhone, iOS ecosystem. You can't switch to Android easily. And also for the carriers, so let's say you get this activated on AT&T. I want to switch to another carrier. Oh, well, you can't just, take out your swap phones and take out a SIM card and put in your T-Mobile SIM card. No, you have to literally call the carrier or download an app, and it's a hassle. So it's two scandals right here, two scandalous things that are going on here. Apple keeping you in the iPhone ecosystem, and the carrier to keep you from easily switching to another carrier and popping in another SIM card if your phone's unlocked. So it goes two ways here. And this is really, since I like switching devices all the time, not just iPhone to iPhone, but iPhone and Android, this is kind of a pain. And there's workarounds to this. You could have two services, two data plans, two phone numbers, but to manage that is almost impossible. It gives you a headache, and that's the only way you can manage it. In the past, I've used Google Voice for the past couple of years. I've gone to Google Voice, ported it back in here and there. And I've done that specifically so that way I can manage and juggle a bunch of different devices without having the need to go through the whole porting, switching process. And now with the iPhone going eSIM only, that's, your options are very, very limited. So it's a shame that Apple has gone that route. It really makes it a tough decision. If I want to get a phone, do I want to be locked into that phone for making it impossible for me to switch? One day I want to use an Android phone. One day I want to go out and use a cheaper phone. Changing it on the fly was magic. And Android still does it on their flagships. You have the option of both nano SIM card slot and the eSIM. So it's kind of a shame. A lot of people probably don't even know that their newer iPhone has an eSIM built in. Most people don't switch carriers or switch phones that often, but this makes it even harder when you want to sell your phone as well. I think it just keeps the value low because some prepaid carriers or carriers, like for example in Mexico, they don't have eSIM on prepaid. So you're kind of SOL if you buy an iPhone 14, 15, or 16 here in the US. Since in Mexico and a lot of countries, they don't have eSIM built in their networks, they don't offer it. That phone is pretty much worthless. The decreased value, it was just gone. That's what it is now. The value was thrown away. So it's a very sneaky. There's no real upside for the customer going eSIM only, because they could have easily still had the option, like Androids now, like Pixels and Samsungs, and even Motorola for that matter, on cheaper phones. They even offer the dual SIM technology. But Apple, yeah, they pretty much took out a very, very simple, easy way. They took out a customer, consumer-friendly feature, honestly. So it's a shame. So yeah, just think about that when you want to get the newer iPhone, or the last phone that offered the nano SIM card slot as an iPhone is an iPhone 13 in that family. So if you got that phone, you might want to just hold on to it. Because that was the last iPhone that had the physical SIM card slot along with eSIM. So yeah, I don't know what you guys think, but I think it's a scandal, and I just wanted to put that out there because it's a shame. We've gotten more and more locked down. This brings more power to the carrier and more power to Apple.